When you're first learning Python, the sheer number of tools available can feel overwhelming. You might look at the thousands of possible commands and feel the crushing weight of trying to memorize every single one of them. But here's a secret: you don't actually have to. Python is what we call a self-aware language, which means it is designed to tell you exactly what it contains whenever you ask. This ability for a program to look at its own parts is like a computer having its own set of eyes to check its own toolkit. We call this ability introspection. Think of downloading a new code library like walking into a massive hardware store. You wouldn't stand outside trying to memorize the entire inventory before walking through the doors. You just walk in and look for the aisle signs. Once you start using this built-in searchlight, coding stops being a stressful memory test and becomes a much more natural process of exploring and discovering what you need as you go. Let's say you need to do some math. You bring in Python's math toolkit, but you don't know exactly which calculators are tucked away inside it. This diagram shows what happens when we use a command called dir.ra. Think of it as the directory board at the front of that hardware store. It opens the toolkit and shows you an alphabetized list of every single thing inside, from basic values like pi to tools like pow and sqrt. You'll notice some strange names in there that start and end with two little lines, those double underscores. Those are just internal housekeeping labels that the computer uses for itself. We can usually just ignore those and look for the names that actually look like tools. To make things even clearer, you can use a simple repeating command to quickly sift through the pile. This lets you automatically hide those housekeeping labels and gives you a clean, readable list of just the tools you actually want to use. Scanning that clean list, you might find exactly what you need, like the pow tool, which is used for calculating powers. But finding the name of a tool is only the first step. Knowing it exists doesn't necessarily tell you how to actually pick it up and use it. A directory board can tell you that a power drill is in aisle 4, but it won't show you how to pull the trigger or change a drill bit. For that, you need the manual. That's where a special module called inspect comes in. If our first command was the directory board, inspect is the detailed instruction manual printed right on the back of the box. This flowchart shows how inspect breaks down a tool like pow. Instead of just a name, it gives us two very important categories: the signature and the docstring. The signature is where we find the inputs, the specific pieces of information the tool needs to do its job. It shows us exactly what we need to provide to make the tool work. Then we have the docstring. This is a plain English written explanation from the person who created the tool, telling you exactly what it was designed to do. By combining those inputs with the creator's explanation, you take the guesswork out of your code. You can see the instructions and the requirements all in one place. Let's see how this works when you encounter something completely new. Imagine opening a vault to a totally unmapped mechanical landscape, a library you've never seen before, with no manuals or websites to help you. First, you simply bring that unknown library into your workspace. Next, you use dir to scan the landscape. You look through the names and find something that sounds useful, like a tool for generating random numbers. Then, you use inspect to decode that tool. It shows you the inputs, those specific values the tool needs, and lets you read the creator's own description of how it works. Finally, you can start writing your code with a clear sense of what should happen next, because you've gathered all the intelligence you need right from the source. By letting Python explain itself to you, you free up your brain to focus on the creative side of problem solving, rather than worrying about memorizing a dictionary.